Hello and welcome back to another episode of my MotoGP 20 career mode here in MotoGP. And now for this episode, the first thing we've got to do is go to an official test at Catalunya, and then the week after is actually Sachsenring. So I'm thinking that this test probably isn't going to take the entire episode, so we'll probably just do this test at the beginning and then we'll head into Sachsenring after, so it might be a slightly longer episode than normal episode. So we'll head there now, and I think we have to just try and beat the time on two different bikes, so hopefully the times aren't impossible to beat. So here we are then at Catalunya for our mid-season test, the official test of this season, the first official test since we rode in Qatar. So bike A is the official bike and bike B is a prototype. So here we are at the Catalunya Test, where you can compare the bike you were using in the current season to the first prototype we are building for the next one. The order of the day is to complete at least one valid lap with both bikes so that we can compare the times and retrieve valuable research data. So then, basically, the only difference in the bikes is the prototype is supposed to bring slower fuel delivery compared to this one being slap bang in the middle between slow fuel delivery and absolute performance. The agility is still the same, so it's probably going to feel very, very similar. The lap times are going to be very close, I would assume. So we'll head out, obviously, for a lap on our normal bike first, because I think that's probably the easiest to go with. So we'll go out on the official bike, and then we'll head out on the prototype afterwards. So then, on a carbon bike, we've ran a bit wide. I thought it was supposed to be on the official bike. I would have thought the official bike would be in the normal colours, and the prototype would be in carbon. So here we are then. As we go over the line, we've got to beat a 1 minute 39.9. Now, to be honest, I can't remember what kind of times I was doing at Catalunya, because that's actually been a few days since I recorded that race. So we've gone a little bit wide into turn one. Oh, very, very wide. That's probably going to allow Vinales to catch up to us massively there. But I'm thinking this lap maybe not going to be the 39.9. So we go a little bit wide. Then is Vinales going to come on the inside almost? And I've looked behind to look at him, and now I've gone totally offline. That's allowed him straight through. So Vinales is actually overtaken us now on our test lap there, but we've squozed towards the apex. We've gone wide once again. It's probably going to allow him through for sure this time. But yeah, I think this lap is definitely down the toilet, that's for sure. Perhaps the soft isn't the best tyre compound to go for either, obviously, as we did end up qualifying on the mediums, I believe. So as we go down towards turn 7 then. Ran a little bit wide, in fact we've run really, really wide. Through turn 8, up the hill on the grass. I'm on the grass, what am I doing? This has been an atrocious lap. I really need to get back used to this KTM again. And look at that rear tyre as well, it's so hot. So hitting the brakes then for turn 10. We've gone very, very wide. I kept doing that in the race as well. Obviously, on the last lap we managed to just get it right. Get the inside of Marquez. Unfortunately, we couldn't beat Dovi. But hopefully this test will help me just get into the groove with the bike, and then we'll be very fast as we get into Sachsenring. So coming up towards the line then, what's the time going to be? A 1:42.3, so yes, we're definitely going to need to improve that time slightly. So 3/10 up in the first sector. 9/10 in the second, 1.4 in the third. Out of the last corner then, coming up towards the line. Is it going to be good enough? 38, 39, no, so 40.2, so quite a bit off still, so we definitely need to try and find some time. So then up towards the line, is it going to be an improvement on this lap? No, actually, so a second off the time there, so we need to head back. Well, second off the top of the timesheet, so whoever's at the top is going very, very fast. So we'll head back to the pits then. We need to put in some more fuel and a new set of tyres, because these ones are destroyed. So then for this stint, I've done what I did in the actual qualifying session here at Catalunya. Put in a medium rear, purely just because I think that's going to help us. It's not going to spin as much, so we should be okay. So obviously that is the advantage of the soft, is having more tyre grip and being able to just fire out the corners, or be able to carry the corner speed, but it's no good if it's just spinning and it's just overheating. So I'm going to go for a lap here with the medium. So we're 4/10 underneath the time. Coming up towards the line then, are we going to be able to beat the time here? 39.7, so we have done it here on bike A, so it definitely seems like the medium tyre is the way to go, so we can get a bit more drive through the corners. So we'll head back to the pits then, and we'll go on to the prototype bike for next season. So going on to the second bike now then. So the only difference seems to be on the fuel delivery, apparently being a bit slower. Now I'm guessing it's very similar to the Sepang test, I'm going to have to choose at the end of the session which one I want to go with. Vinales behind us again, a bit like earlier on in the session. But I'm not sure if I'm going to stay with this bike for next season. It depends how well we do, of course, in the championship. We are currently second, but if we can manage to win the championship with this bike, then I probably won't stay. But obviously if I don't, then I might stay with the team, so I'm not 100% sure exactly what I'm going to be doing next season yet. So then if we hit the brakes for the first corner on this bike, pretty nice, got it stopped nice and stable, although you'd expect it to be very similar chassis-wise. So 49 thousandths underneath the time, so we're going a tad quicker, but we probably just lost all that through that corner. Through the last corner, then 2 personal bests, and then a not personal best in the middle sector there. Sector 3 over the line, 39.8 then, so we've met the threshold on both bikes. The pace difference really negligible yet there, probably just a bit of riding differences on the lap, but very, very close. Perhaps the power does come into it a little bit though, since this bike's going to have less power than bike A, so that could definitely be the difference in time there. So our sectors 1 and 4 were fastest on bike B actually, and then we had a fastest second sector on a different lap of bike A there. So our fastest time only being fastest in the third sector, so I suppose that's where it counts then. So we actually have to pick a bike then here. So the average time obviously much better on bike B, but we only did 1 fast lap on that bike, so that will be why. To be honest, I'll probably just stick with bike A anyway, because that's what I picked initially, so we'll stick with that one. I just noticed how it says the winter tests are finished, but this isn't actually a winter test, is it? It is a mid-season test. But anyway, we'll pick this bike A, because I think that was actually a little bit better than bike B, although there's really not much in it. So that's the test done then. So we've got personal manager and technical staff notifications then. So a new personal manager applying seems to be a bit cheaper but not quite as good, so we'll refuse that person. And let's have a look at technical staff. Who's applying it is the chief engineer. So yeah, pretty bad stats, look at that. Only good on the aero, which is the only part we actually upgraded. Not that it particularly matters anyway, but we've refused that person. So without any further ado, we'll head into qualifying 1 here at Sachsenring. So then we're here then for qualifying 1 at Sachsenring. It is indeed dry, which is exactly what we want then. So who's in this session? Alessia Spargaro and Danilo Petrucci are the 2 that haven't got through this time. So Morbidelli and Miller and Nakagami all getting through then into Q2. So I'm not 100% sure how well we're going to do at this circuit. I think it's just mainly going to be how the bike feels when we go out on track. It's not particularly great through long corners, and there is a few of those. And obviously this is a Marquez track, so it definitely suits him, and in the game he's definitely going to have a good stat at this circuit. So I assume if we're fighting for any sort of victory or anything like that, it will be with Marquez and not with anybody else. So we'll head out onto the track then, do like a banker lap or something, and then if we need to, we can improve it at the end of the session. So obviously after Mugello, I was a bit worried about our prospects of fighting for a decent position in this championship, but Catalunya definitely restored my hope in the bike. Obviously that's not very good, the fact that the bike's wheeling so much at the last corner. That would be a crucial spot to get good traction, maybe for going for a dive into the first corner here. Obviously this circuit is also the esports circuit this weekend, since there is a new esports event. Alex Rins at this circuit. We'll be able to stack myself up against that. But we are almost 3 tenths down the first sector, which is massive at this circuit here. I've said circuit way too many times, but it's massive at Sachsenring, a small little gap like that, since it's so short. To lose that much time, obviously even in one sector, that's always a lot. But we always seem to be about 2 tenths down. We've gone off onto the grass a little bit on the exit there, so again, these first laps are being awful so far. But yeah, the bike doesn't particularly want to turn in. We're 8 tenths down, so this really bodes well for this weekend. Through turn 8 then we ran a little bit wide, but that was probably my mistake more than the bike. Through 9 again, we're running wide. It just doesn't want to turn in. We might have to make some setup tweaks here just to make it kind of rideable. Through turn 11 then down the hill, 1.1 seconds off. Wow, that is a lot of time to be off at Sachsenring. So we go into the Sachsen curve then. We've just gained fuel into that corner. Went from 1.4 to 1.5 and back to 1.4 again. So hitting the brakes into Queckenberg then. They used to crash here all the time that AI did. There was a bug where they just always crashed through that corner. Sort towards the line then, 1 minute 20.3. That is not a good lap here at all. So we'll go for another one on this stint then, see if we can improve. So we are going quicker in the first sector, only a 10th down now. So 3 tenths down then, and I did the rewind trick to have a look who is fastest, and it is Alessia Spargaro with a 19.7 so far. So half a second off now. Petrucci is now top of the session with a 19.3. So coming up towards the line then, We actually went slower because I managed to bottle it in the last couple of corners. So we need to head back to the pits then and come out again for another run. So those tyres are a little worn. We'll go on a new fresh set of soft softs because that'll leave still enough for the race. We'll leave 5 laps of fuel, then we'll head back out onto the track because currently we're 12th out of 13, which is even worse than we were at Mugello. So Alex Marquez now top of the session with a 19.1. So we are about a second off what we need to find a second at Sachsenring. That is a lot to ask, really. So looks like we might be struggling here again. So actually gone personal best in the first sector then, 1/10 away from Marquez's time. So we're 6/10 down in the second sector, which still unfortunately is a personal best as well. So 8/10 down now. Still not going to be good enough to go through at this rate. Or towards the line then. 1 minute 19.9, which takes us up to 10th place. 8/10 off then. Or towards the line then. Oh, 1 minute 19.8. So we are getting quicker, but I don't think it's going to be enough. We're going to be 9th place in this session, which is 19th on the grid. So we've got another attempt, another 2 laps to go for it. Since it's such a short circuit, there's enough time in the session. So fastest in the first sector there then. Now 7/10 down in the next sector. Marquez has gone quicker again as well. So last opportunity then. The front wheel's still coming up. So 11th on the grid. Well, 11th in this session. It's going to be 21st on the grid at this rate. We can't find any time on this lap. 25 thousandths down in the first sector. Half a second in the second sector. It's not going to be enough. Up towards the line then. Is it going to be enough? 19.7. Wow, we are so far down. We are 11th in this session. We beat Joe and Mir somehow. So we've beaten Mir, we've beaten Smith, but Aleix Espargaro down in 10th here. Marquez with an 18.9, and we did a 19.7, so it was our best time. We couldn't get any quicker than that. Joan Zarco has got through then into qualifying 2 for the first time this season, so that's pretty remarkable for Joan Zarco. But yet again, another race where Marquez looks like he probably will be able to win. Mark might be able to bring home the victory here, and we're starting down the order. We're going to have to go full out aggression in this race. So we're down here on the grid then with Quartararo on pole position, Marquez in seconds. That's really what we don't need, starting right at the back of the grid, really. It's going to be a tough race because I've made a little bit of a setup tweak, sort of off camera, so I've had a go at trying to find something that makes the bike work a little bit better. I can't really find anything that makes it work around the corners, so I've sort of had to stick with the default, but we have changed the gearbox, so it does help me turn in a little bit, and it also will help me get quite a good start, so I should be able to pass a few people on the first lap. I decided to go with a soft front and a hard rear just because the spinning on the left hand side round most of the circuit is too much, otherwise you just lose too much grip on a medium rear. So we'll get this race started, and we really do need a miracle here. So Quartararo, please just keep Marquez behind you for as long as you can. So the lights are on here, we're waiting for the lights to go out here at Sachsenring. The lights on, away we go, putting all the weight down on the front to stop the front from wheeling. Look at the start we've got, as we go towards the first corner, going around the outside of Alex Marquez. Can we pull it off? Alex Marquez still on the inside. Lots of people going wide up ahead. Try to slide it through, a bit of contact with Zarco there. So up into 13th place already. So it's been a pretty amazing start from well, not 23rd on the grid, but it was about 21st on the grid. Now inside of a couple more riders, up into 11th place, 4 wide ahead. Rins, well, he was on the outside, he's now on the inside. Alex Marquez now on the outside. Miller looking at the inside of me. He's going to be able to get it just because I can't turn. So back down into 12th place, but Miller and Marquez almost having contact up ahead. So we go through turn 7, trying to keep the power on as much as I can because I have to basically shut off totally through some of these corners and to get it turned. Around the outside of Alex Marquez. I don't want to put myself on the outside, but I kind of had to because they were blocking the inside. That definitely wasn't great. I think Mark Marquez... Oh no, that's actually Crutchlow. I was about to say I think Mark Marquez is in the mid-pack, but it was Cal Crutchlow. I'd have seen a little bit of red and thought it was the red of the Repsol. But there we go, past Alex Marquez then. We're closing up way too quickly onto Jack Miller, which has been smacked at the back by Alex there. Is that Rossi up ahead going wide? No, it's Morbidelli, so we're not being great at spotting people from a distance here. But I think Marquez is in the lead ahead of Quartararo already. We've got him wide at the last corner, that's allowed Alex Marquez to come through. Yes, Mark Marquez is leading the race, whilst I'm down in 12th place. Having a look on Alex and into turn 1. Oh, that was a very risky dive. I think he's probably going to get back underneath those Zarcos looking at the inside. But we've passed them both now then, so up into 11th place once again. So Marquez doing a 19.6 out of a 20.5. We were closing up on Nakagami, but we did a wheelie out the last corner, unfortunately. That is obviously the downside of this gearbox and the bikes. the bike having terrible anti-wheelie at this point since we've not done any upgrades, but we're closing up onto Nakagami. Luckily, unfortunately, we weren't close enough to have a look, is what I was going to say, but he said luckily by accident. So we're going to have to sit in 11th again for another lap by the looks of it. At the end of the third lap then, Marquez another 19.6, pulling away from Quartararo. We're doing a 20.6, so we're going even slower. Dovizioso now doing the fastest lap in third place. So at the end of the fourth lap then, still sat behind Nakagami. We can't do anything to catch him. Here we go through this first corner though. We've got quite a good exit. I'm going to look for the inside on Nakagami. Oh, we can't quite get through, but we've pushed him onto a line that he'd be less happy with. Now at the inside to Omega. We're going to take 10th place here on Nakagami. Yes, we are. We're still on the back of the pack as well, so Miller is up next. Marquez doing a 19.5 then on that lap. Coming up towards the line, 20.0. I was about to say, it seems like my pace has actually picked up a little bit since we've passed Nakagami, and we're actually closing up to Miller. Miller's almost had a massive tank slapper then into the first corner. He's got a bit wide in. Is that going to allow me to get up the inside? It should do, and with the better acceleration for the gearbox, we're up into 9th place then. Morbidelli's up next, and we're actually starting to make up some places once again here at Sachsenring. Marquez with a 19.3 then. He's getting further and further ahead. We are catching back up to Morbidelli a little bit. A bit of a wheelie there through the last corner, so that's any chance of us overtaking him at the first corner gone, I think. So we're 20.2 on that lap then. So on lap 8 then, closing up on Morbidelli again as we look to the outside of him through turn 1. We're trying to lean on him a bit. It's probably not the best decision to go around the outside, but we've got the switch back around the outside again. This time though we've pulled it off, so up it's 8th place now, although Morbidelli's still trying to come back around the outside. But Rins is up next, then it's Crutchlow, then it's Vinales, then it's Rossi. So 20.0 on that lap. I think that's our new personal best lap of the race, and we are closing up on Rins. Oh, Rins is doing a bit of a tank slap into the first corner. Looking for the outside move on Rins. Can we do it? Picking up the power though nice and early. We got the run on him. Can we flick it to the left hand side? Not quite, but we're all over the back of him now. So we're just out of range of Rins again, I think, at this first corner. But here we go once again. We're looking for the outside on Rins. We're not going to be able to get it this time. Definitely not. But can we... Oh, Miller almost hit us up the back there. We got the run around the outside of him. A bit of contact with Rins there. So apologies to Rins for the contact. But up into 7th place now. Crutchlow is next, but we've got a lap and a bit to go. So I don't know if we're going to be able to get him. Here we go then on the last lap. I'm in power mode too because look at the fuel. We are so marginal as we go towards the first corner. And then we're looking for the outside move on Crutchlow. Up into 6th place that it is. We've made the mistake through the middle of the corner. So I'm going to allow it back through on the power. No, we've got the position. So up into 6th. The two Yamahas are too far in front for us to catch them up. But I think 21st to 6th will be a good job. So Marquez wins then, miles ahead of us. The two Yamahas into the last corner. I was thinking they might have crashed then, but they didn't quite. So through the last corner then, it's going to be... We've still got a lap of fuel left somehow. I don't know how we've saved so much on this lap. It's going to be 6th place, which is not bad from where we started. I'm quite happy with that. So then Marc Marquez wins nearly 2 seconds ahead of Quartararo in second. Dovi nearly 6 seconds adrift in third there. Rossi 9 seconds behind, same with Vinales. That was 11 seconds behind, which, considering we started right at the back basically, I think we started 21st, is not a bad result. Iker Lecuona getting points as well in this race, so fantastic for Iker Lecuona. If we look at the championship then, Marc Marquez now has a 48-point lead. And I think I did say that if he gets a 50, we'll upgrade. And that's very close to 50. So I think I'll actually have a look at maybe getting an upgrade at the end of this episode. Because I can't have a weekend like that where I'm qualifying 21st and expect to be able to beat Mark over the course of this season. He needs to crash twice pretty much now for it to be a decent chance for us to still win the championship. Dovizioso is still miles behind us then in third place. Same with Vinales. So we've done a better season than those guys. Quartararo in 5th as well there, but he did get knocked off, of course, in Jerez. Cal Crutchlow moves back ahead of Alex Rins into 6th place in the championship. In the team's championship, then, we're falling further and further back from Repsol Honda, who are currently winning it then. We have 79 points behind them. Obviously, Alex bringing in a lot more points than Lecuona and Oliveira are for our team. And I suppose Mark is bringing in a lot more than I am as well. Petronas Yamaha moved back ahead of Team Suzuki X-Star then, so they're going to be on a bit of a charge since Quartararo got that second position. A fantastic result for Quartararo. And then in the Constructors, we finally move down to 3rd again, back behind Yamaha, obviously after a great ride for Quartararo, as previously mentioned. We're only 1 point behind them, though, so we still could potentially get that position back, but it looks like Honda are going to walk away with this one, since they've got almost a 50-point lead over everybody. So I don't think there was any crashes or anything in that race, so there's nothing to analyse in the replay, so we'll head to the career hub then now. We'll look at the reputation and the credits, which probably isn't much reputation since we failed the qualifying objective again. And then I'll have a look at maybe seeing upgrading the frame, perhaps. So then, in terms of reputation, we gained 6,100, which takes us up to 349,450 reputation points. And other credits, we got our healthy salary that we get regardless of our finishing position, 32,863 credits, which takes us up to 421,037. So this upgrade here then is 2,000 centralisation of masses by moving the engine connections. So it gives us better reactivity. I'll develop that bike, that part then, and we'll put everybody on it, you know how we always do it here. So that's all of them on it then. It's going to take 3 weeks to do, so obviously we've got the next race first before that even happens anyway. But I hope you did enjoy that video then. So once again, obviously struggling massively in qualifying, but we did a much better comeback ride than we did in Mugello. The gearbox basically is what saved it. It made it stop a bit better in some of the corners, and made it just power out of them even better. So basically, it didn't make me better around the sections of the track I was slow, it made me better around the sections of the track I was fast, which is what I needed. I also, at this circuit, had 2 sectors in a row where I was faster than the AI, so it made it so I could close up to them through the last sector and then pull the moves in the first sector. So if you notice, all the moves we did were basically out the exit of the first sector, or, you know, going into the first sector, purely just because we had an entire section before to catch them up, so the double lefts towards the end of the lap, and then if I needed to, turn 1 as well to make an attack, because we were so much slower around everywhere else around the circuit. It just wasn't there. But yeah, like I said, I hope you did enjoy that video. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you're all staying safe, and I shall see you in the next video.